I'm all about the good vibes, the good vibes. We bout to have a good time, a good time. Leave my problems all behind, all behind. We living out the good life, yeah. I ain't gotta worry about a thing.
Oh no.
Had some obstacles I overcame.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to ever be the same.
Oh Lord.
Cause when we change the mind, we change the game. Coming through clutch. Coming through clutch. Coming through clutch.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Kenny Clutch on another episode of the Clutchvision podcast. I got another special heavy hitter, a special guest in the building, all the way from Cali, California. My man, the 7-footer himself, Mr. Ryan Hollins. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
What's up, man? Been too long, man. We overdue for this, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, man, we've been chopping it up for a minute. I appreciate you coming on to the show. For those that don't know who Ryan Hollins is, he is a TV personality and also a member of the NBA, well, former member of the NBA in that brotherhood. How many years did you do in the NBA, Ryan?
10.
10 years in the NBA, which is hard to do. Some guys are out in 4, maybe 5 years, if that. You know, my man Ryan has done 10 years in NBA. He is a husband, a father, and a leader. So we're going to chop it up for you guys on the Clutchvision podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment below, share this with somebody, share it with your mama, your auntie, your grandma, your uncle, whoever, because we're going to drop some nuggets for you guys, man. Listen, brother, for those that don't know you, you know, and as we broaden our audiences, you know, one, I know you as a positive being, you know, a spiritual man, and you know, you inspire me, brother. Just, you know, just off of your grind, your hustle,
Appreciate it.
and being a leader, man. For those that don't know, who is Ryan Hollins, the husband, the father, and who is Ryan Hollins, the TV personality and NBA player?
Man, for me, I want to make sure, you know, everything I do honors God and honors my family first.
Absolutely.
You know, before anything else, you know, so that's the biggest thing I want to put across. Man, I'm an overachiever, bro. Like pretty much like at the end of the day, I had to work hard, as we alluded to, for everything I had, and you know, continue to work. And I think the biggest misconception is people don't always see your work behind the scenes, so they don't appreciate what you do in front of the scenes.
Right.
When you watch somebody really grind, like you understand. But you know, some people think you made it to the NBA because you're tall. You made it to broadcasting because you played to the NBA. You know, you made it here just because of this, because of that. People don't always look at it because of you, and they don't know, they don't understand how hard a craft may be. And I think even like for myself, you know, it was ingrained in me. But you know, I always just try to be a hardworking, resilient, strong-minded person.
Right.
In my mind, that's ultimately my goals of who I am.
Dope, man. Dope. So, you know, so how long have you been in journalism broadcasting since you retired from the NBA?
No, so a year, the next year I went and played overseas.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I'd always done radio, done media, then kind of worked towards that before I retired.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got back, that's when I got into the broadcast media. So I want to say maybe going on my third year now, possibly going on my third year now. So everything I'm doing is just like extremely, extremely new to me. But it's a craft. I enjoy the challenge and getting better at it.
Right. And so we're in as a country and as a global world, rather, we're in a transition, right? So if you can speak about the transition from NBA into your new career, how was that transition for you and your family?
Man, well, I really had the blessing to play 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, the nice thing is, you know, they always say smooth transition. They will, you know, kind of address that with us, you know, with the players. And for me, the transition was decently smooth, but it wasn't just smooth.
Mm-hmm.
I had worked at the broadcast and doing radio and things of that sort before I retired. So the first time I stepped into a microphone post basketball, it wasn't my first go around.
Mm.
So that was smooth, but to me, the business side was completely different.
Mm.
I had been working at a radio station, and I didn't know I was supposed to be getting paid.
Mm.
And I had done over a certain number of appearances and actually hosted a show for free.
Right.
Money I didn't recoup. And, for me, then I would go the other way and I'll be too aggressive in negotiating and saying, no, you got to pay me this, this, and this before I show up anywhere for you,
Right.
And that went south. That kind of went the other way. So I just believe it was really and still is a huge growing process in there. But, in terms of media, I'm always thinking of like the business of it,
Yeah.
Versus just what it is. Like basketball, I didn't understand the business of basketball till later. Like I used to think like, man, you go get buckets, you gonna play in the game.
Right.
Like, not bro, like you're paid a certain amount, you're under contract for a certain amount of years. Like, just because you don't play doesn't mean you're a bad player. It means the guy in front of you is better. Maybe his contract is about to be up. There's a lot of different variables. So trying to learn that side on the media side was a whole different monster. And I'm still learning how to position myself and how to, do well on this side.
Mm. Dope, man. Dope. So in terms of like, your family and how like, I always wanted to know, how is it handling both family and NBA life collectively together? I don't, how many kids do you have again?
I got 4.
4 kids. I got 4. We both in the same
Facts.
boat.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So I know from a dance perspective, traveling can get kind of hectic, going from city to city to doing tours or doing teaching in different dance studios, to make sure that your family is taken care of. Is it the same thing for NBA players as well too?
Yeah, you're in an intriguing place in the NBA as a father because, for myself, I was to the point where when I was home, I'd be home with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
But while playing, sometimes you get so bogged down with playing that once you get home, you want to just lay out.
Right.
Like I've been traveling for 2 weeks straight. When I get home, I just want to lay out.
Right.
And, the kids that kind of accept that, the wife accepts it. It's nice because you don't have to worry about things financially. If that makes sense, you get to, kind of hold that. But you're not really necessarily present the way you want to be present. For me, like now I'm enjoying the intimacies of my kids in the sense of, hey, like doing homework with them.
Yeah.
Hey, making sure that they act in the right way. Right? Like,
Yeah.
like I'm in there with you or like looking over you like, nah, this is what we're doing. So I believe I get to do more of that than just the soft exterior outside stuff. Like, hey, I gotta build you and mold you and shape you. And also, like Kenny, like when your kids get older, you can have different conversation with them. You can teach them different things. You're not just, when your kids are little, like you're babysitting. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're babysitting.
Right.
There's not a crazy amount of teaching that's involved. But I think I'm enjoying the older they get, the more that I get to pour into them. But just even as a father, I just believe I've grown so much, man, so much.
Yeah, and it's like, and now even during this time that we're in, you get to learn even more about your kids because they're not in school, they're being homeschooled right now, and you actually get your 6 hours back in the day, 6-7 hours back in the day where they would really be at school, but now, they're with you. And so
Facts.
what new things are you learning about your children, being that you're getting 6-7 hours back in the day with them?
Man, I feel like like athletically there's so much that they can unlock. Maybe that's the superficial thought, but like, we'll exercise. I'll have them working out and I'm like, dude, y'all don't even know how equipped y'all are. Like, it's crazy. Like my oldest daughter, Lauren. So Lauren she's tall like me. Lauren and Chris are built exactly like me. Eve has the best of both worlds. She has like her mom's strength and agility and my height. Like nice. She's crazy. Yeah. But like Lauren will like tap out of exercises like, oh, I can't do this. But it'll come to her grip and she'll grab you and you'll turn and look like, bro, like a grown man just grabbed you. Like, this is crazy. And Chris, Chris is the kid that when he locks his mind on something, he'll do it. I'm like, Chris, do 100 push-ups.
Mm-hmm.
He can't really do one push-up, but he gonna do 100 his way.
Mm.
And I'm like, all right, do some sit-ups. And then, man, I played around with him a little bit after 3 workouts, bro. And I'm like, yo, he's strong.
Right.
Where did that come from? Then my little one, bro, she hops on my back. Keep in mind, when little kids 3 years old aren't supposed to hop on your back, bro.
Right.
She hops on my back. She's hanging on herself. I have no hands on her, and I'm comfortable. You know, like she's locked in.
Yeah.
Then she's so comfortable, she took one hand, locked in, and start climbing up me and climbing over my head.
Wow.
Now, other kids can't do that.
Wow.
Bro, I seen her jump off of a tabletop onto a trampoline with no problem. I'm like, yo, like this is crazy, bro. Yeah. And then in schoolwork, I just feel like we could run, bro, because I have them set up on the little computer program, but it's like, yo, okay, you finish your 3rd grade math. We're going to 4th grade now.
Right.
And we're going to 4th grade and so on and so on. So we get our English, our math, and our science, and then we got animal videos in the background, and then like, let's paint, let's kick it, let's go on a walk. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's very, man, I feel like as a family, it's like selfish family time.
Right.
Like, there's no such thing, but like, we're selfish. Like, no, you all day. Your wife is cooking, bro. Kenny, I know your wife is cooking like crazy.
Heavy.
I know you lose your mind.
We got the rice and beans. We got all of that popping. And so, and you know, what's crazy is that me and my wife, we were talking the other day on how much time, you know, we actually get to spend with the kids now. And it's wild because there are reports that are out there now that the rate of domestic violence and child abuse has gone up since the COVID-19 has occurred. You know what I'm saying? And it's like parents, you know, are not having enough patience, you know, with their children being inside the house, meaning like, you know, they got a lot of energy that they got to burn off. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You want to, cause listen, we're not perfect too, but it's a way and a structure, to handle that. And then you got relationships or whatever that are being tested right now, you know, and from a spiritual standpoint, it's like God is saying like, look, I need you isolated because I need to fix this. You know, you need to fix who you are, fix, you know, what I called you to be. If you could add to that, what advice do you give to parents and people that are in marriages in that situation right now?
Don't go nowhere, man.
Yeah.
Don't let the fight. Don't be afraid of the fight.
Right.
But just be willing to come to terms at the end of it.
Right.
Like, don't be afraid, like, hey, man, like, I got to relearn my wife again. Like, but the other side is beautiful. Like, don't be afraid to fight.
Right.
Don't be afraid to question, to ask, to learn, to grow. I'm not saying literally go wild, but, like, don't be afraid because the other side is crazy. And we live in a society that's so parentless, so fatherless, so motherless, so loveless. Like, and that's what, to me, was killed our youth. What are they? The I want it now. The immediate satisfaction, no work, you know, all glory, no work. Like, you know, that's, and we have a chance to change all that, bro. So I just really look at that as a huge, Kenny, like a huge opportunity, bro. Absolutely. For the families, families to come back. And I think I'm sorry, like if I'm an officer coming out and y'all getting a fight, like y'all figure it out.
Right.
Y'all figure it out. Like low-key, y'all figure don't hurt them, don't kill them.
Right. Don't kill them now. But look, it's like, how was it back in the day? You go outside, you playing with your cousins or your brothers, your sister. You know what I'm saying? My boys right now, they go outside, they play football, they play basketball or whatever, and then they start arguing over something, and then they come inside, Daddy, like he did this or he did that, and he won't let me do this. Go, figure it out. Figure it out. Because I'm not going to be here all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel that, like, a lot of people just don't want to put in the work to figuring things out. And just to go back a little bit to, you know, your stint in the NBA, like the work that it takes just to get to that level, you know.
Hey, bro, I hate to cut you off.
Go ahead.
You just talking about my son and my daughter were arguing, the two middle ones, Chris and Lauren. And Lauren, Chris grinded Lauren's gears because Chris was on some real stuff, because Chris is so 100%. Lauren wasn't giving 100%. He said some real stuff to her, and he triggered her. And then she took off on him. And he was like, you have anger issues.
Ooh.
You don't know how to express your emotions without losing it suddenly. Like, he sounded like a therapist.
Ooh.
It was so real. I was like, yo, what the heck? I was like, yo, my son is deep. But like part of it was just kind of, I let him play it out a little bit. But like, he said, you don't know how to handle your emotions. You know, you have anger issues. Like, what?
Right. And how old are they again?
He's 8 and she's 11.
Wow.
And he start like crying.
Wow.
Like we consoled him afterwards, but like it was a cry out of like
love.
I'm frustrated. Like, you better than this. Why aren't you handling this the right way? Like, I'm your brother. And I'm like, dang.
Right.
He got out of some real stuff. I didn't even know he was deep.
Right. And doesn't that frustrate you? Like when you see people that have so much potential and it's like you want it more than them. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I can't want it more than you. You gotta want this. Like, you have to want this. How do you, in your opinion, like what I say all the time, I said, when we change the mind, we change the game. Mentally, some people are like, they don't know how to change their mentality because of the culture that they grew up in, right? And I say this quote a lot from Bill Gates. Bill Gates said, if you're born poor, that's not your fault. But if you die poor, that is your fault, right? Now, I didn't take it as from a financial standpoint. I took it as, if you're born with a poor mind, that's not your fault. But if you die with a poor mind, that is your fault, you know? So how do we, you know, help people that, and if you're listening right now, we got Ryan Hollins, you know, oh my gosh, yo, NBA star, you know what I'm saying, right here, right now, just dropping knowledge for us. How do we help people change their mentality and their mental to move forward? Because I get messages all the time. People are like, I don't want to move forward. I don't know what to do.
I believe, you know, like Kenny, we talked about this. So like, as it applied to myself.
Yes.
Or like, you know, we talked about the Will Smith, you know, he dropped Confucius quote, you know, those who believe they can, yes, and those who believe they can't, they're both right. I always go back to a time when I didn't have nothing, when I wasn't an NBA player. Like, I used to watch the NBA and be like, I'm better than him. I can play in the NBA. Boom, 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 boom. I can dunk. I can play in the NBA. Can you run? I can run. I'm just as fast. Am I strong? In my mind, I could play. I felt that I was powerful. And even when I watch my kids, I want them to know how powerful they are. And when I thought about my dad, you know, as he rests, he always would inspire in me and trigger me. You're so strong. You jump so high. You're so smart. You were reading at 3 years old. You did this. You did that. You know, you take this parents bragging on you. But it was my dad was always telling me how smart, how strong, how whatever. Like, it almost unlocks. Like, I remember my grandmother sat me down. She's like, pull your shoulders back. Hold your head up. You walk with pride. You're a Hollins.
Wow.
So never forget how strong you, like, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like with my kids, you have to know you're powerful. You have to know you're smart, you're funny, articulate, you're intelligent. You can be that. And then it grows. I always invigorate or incite whatever you want to use in my kids, that you guys have superpowers because they like cartoons. Like, you guys have a superpower. Your superpower is intelligence.
Right.
But I said, like the cartoons, you could use your superpowers for good, you could use it for bad. I call my kids out. I'll give them an assignment. They either knock the assignment out or sometimes they lollygag. And I say, you're not even using your powers. God gave you gifts. Why are you're wasting it right now? Right. Like my daughter, I had her doing a plank. Plank is very hard, bro. Plank is hard for adults to do. Right. And I press them mentally. So they're doing a plank for a certain amount of time. So my daughter, she puts her head on the floor to relieve her body weight. Then she puts one knee on top of the other and lays flat. And while doing the plank, I said, I was going to let you up, but you're using your intelligence for the wrong ways. Right. You're using your intelligence to problem solve how to make this easier rather than just doing it. So don't use your intelligence to sneak it. I said, you're smart enough she's the type of child that would never, Kenny, I swear to God, she would never get in trouble for anything.
Right.
But she would grow up mentally, because like just little like turning homework stuff like, but she would grow up mentally and be a monster.
Wow.
Because she would waste all that intelligence. So with her, I am on her in the sense that you have to use your intelligence for good. You can't fake it.
Right.
You can't fake it. So I'm like, that's my thing with her. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
but
man.
I'm all over her.
It's all about, and what you're putting out there is very, very simple when you really think about it. Encourage your children. Encourage your children. Be there. Be on them. Yeah, they may not like it, right now, but you're the parent. You're, you brought you through God or whatever, you brought them in this world. So don't be afraid, parents, to instill, discipline and encourage your children in the proper way. Now I get it. Some people don't come from that type of, culture or anything like that, where the lineage of their family, it was always like a generational curse, trickled down in ways. Fortunately, you have society out there now that are showing more fathers like yourself, like myself, and like many other men that I know that are, building up their children. Like, so you have examples. So parents, we got examples here, there's really no excuse, now. So, and especially like growing up in this day and age, if you want to be successful, then you just have to set your mind to it, as cliche as it sounds, right? Like, setting your mind,
but really set your mind to it, like really,
right? Really, you know what I'm saying? Like, so when you went to UCLA, correct?
Yeah. Let me ask you something real quick. I want to throw this out to you. Like,
go ahead.
Have you had experiences where like you give your kids the sugar pill? Because I use that sometimes in a sense too. Like, I'd be like, hey man, y'all do something, or like come, because they think I'm the biggest, strongest ever, right? And I'm like, oh, grab me by the shoulder. Oh,
right.
You broke my arm. Oh, yeah. like to where they feel I got the power.
They feel, yeah. I did it the other night. So check it, right? So we got Christian, and then we got two other boys. We got Javion and Caleb, right? Caleb's 11, Javion is 6. So these two, like, they all day, like they're going crazy, right? And I said, I got to get something that's going to like drain the energy out, just so that they can just get to sleep a little bit early, because I got something to do tonight. I actually had another podcast. So I wanted to like go ahead and get their energy out, so that they can be tired enough to go to sleep. I went to Walmart. I bought some Nerf guns. So we're going to have a Nerf gun fight. So we had a Nerf gun fight. I'm tagging him up too, right? So then I come in, and then my 6-year-old Javion got me with a headshot. I just, played it off. Boom. Oh my God. Like, and just laid on the floor. And he was like, I got daddy. It made him feel, awesome that he got me.
He
but
climbed the mountain, yo.
Yeah. But then he cried because he was like, I shot daddy in the head. So, but you see like how compassionate, they are as well too. I believe that's so important. Like, and you being, who you are with your kids, it's important, like to give them that, Definitely, man.
And I say this too, I even have to be even better with my wife in that too. That you bring it up, because like sometimes our biggest flaw, like a guy like me, when you play in the NBA, you're so you assume everybody's on your wavelength of being competitive and go get it, but like, we got to make sure we encourage our wives and let them know how powerful they are too.
Absolutely.
But I think that's your job as a husband, wife empower. My job is to empower you, to make you a better leader, better whatever. Like, and Kenny, I think we forget that like sometimes, but I know when you do it, it's great. Like, you know, like, hey, you can do this. But I always assume like people, my whole life always told me what I couldn't do.
Right.
So I was like, you should be stubborn like me. Of course you can.
Right. And, and we had this conversation before where, a woman's first need is security, and women, they want to feel secure. They want to make sure that they feel secure from their husbands, not just, you just coming along for the ride. Like, make them feel secure. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you add to, how men can go ahead and make their women feel secure in life?
Yeah. No, you said add to it?
Yeah.
Man, obviously your consistency by being there,
Mm-hmm.
and even your consistency after you make a mistake by still showing that you're being there.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say when you making your wife secure, you know, like you almost got to go overboard.
Yeah.
Because sometimes fellas, we be like, we home, that's enough, right?
Right.
But like, you got to be home all year long. Like
Right.
you got to be overboard home.
Right.
Like sometimes, like, hey, I'm showing you enough, but you got to like OD on it.
OD.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
sometimes, and if she's secure, like, oh no, you're not going nowhere. You're not doing nothing. Or you different. Like sometimes you got to deal with some unreasonable demands
Mm-hmm.
so that the heat comes off you.
Right.
But I know the appreciation is going to be there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I believe like, and then, you got to compromise a little bit. And you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to give you some. So, especially during the quarantine time or whatever, how creative are you getting as a husband? Because it's like, you can't take your wife out right now, so you got to create dates kind of like inside the home. Like maybe a couple weeks ago, my wife, we did a picnic in our backyard. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So she decorated, the whole picnic, and then we started painting. You know what I mean? Like, we got to compromise because you can't go out. So what are you
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
doing to compromise to continue to keep the flame going?
I would say that's tough to a degree because, like, we got the kids and, like, you got to tell them, like, go down, lay down. But
Right.
organically, we can ride out from the morning to the evening. So, like, me and my wife, man, like, we're just spamming these shows, like that 90 Day Fiance. Like, after I'm playing my games, I'm with the kids, like, I'm watching her. We watch her shows.
Mm.
So we talk about her shows. I try to get into them. We take our walks, like, cause she doesn't even matter if the kids are with us. Like, we're taking a walk. Like, it just seems simple. We go walking and we're appreciating the houses in the neighborhood. You
That's dope.
know, like, and like me, I'm like, let's take a jog.
Mm-hmm.
My wife's like, no, let's take a
Nah.
walk. Take a walk.
She
Like,
with all that. She like,
but
yeah.
taking a walk with her satisfies a lot of different things.
Right.
So for me, it's like, let's go. Or like if I want double points, I initiate the walk.
Here you go.
Like if I want, because I'm not a walker.
Right.
I'm not a walker. We
Right.
talked about, like, you brought it up, like,
But you're a leader
compromise.
and your family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you talked about compromise. Like, I would say when my marriage changed, and it's still changing, but I would say even one of the biggest changes is leading with submission. And I used to feel like a leader, like the coach in the locker room, like, get back on defense. And then I get back on defense.
Right.
So I thought that would work in the household, just respond. Like, hey, don't listen to what I said, how I said it, listen to what I said. Like that works. Like,
Right.
for me, Jesus Christ led by submission.
Yes.
So God is the head over everyone.
Yes.
Then there's Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's, the congregation and you and your wife or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it fell into, hey, how did Jesus lead?
Mm.
All right, well, take note in how Jesus led. He said, my yoke is light, so I'm compassionate.
Mm.
He was calm. He learned. He said, you walk. And for those, like, to me, I had to really meditate on that. Like, all right, like, my yoke is light. For those who don't know what a yoke is, you would put two cattle or two bulls together and then they would plow the yard.
Right.
But if my yoke is too overpowering or too passive to your yoke, we can't work together because you're either going to be pulling me or I'm going to be pulling you, and it's not going to work.
Right.
But if Jesus is saying, I'm working with you at your pace and I'm submitting to you, when I started to submit to my wife, and I still have a lot of work to do in that department, don't get me wrong, I'm definitely no saint.
Right.
She started giving back to me. And I was like, yo, that's new. Like, you giving back to me, like, that's new. So that's, for me, something I'm still working on. But I found, like, hey, like, this works.
Yeah, that's dope, man. That's dope. And I think, like, the more we are able to compromise with our wives and with our spouses, women as well too, the better the relationship, the better, you are, moving forward, because it's like every day you have a new person, because we always evolve. So you always, like, I say this, you get to learn somebody, and then maybe 2-3 years later, there's somebody new. So you're gonna learn them all over again. You know what I'm saying? And that keeps the flame going. You know what I'm saying? Every 2 to 3 years, a person changes. They change who they are. They change the way they think, the way they act, because we're constantly growing. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's one of the most important things that we can do, you know, in our marriages, in our relationships, and with our children. You think about your children; they're growing what every year.
Gosh. Yeah.
And they change. You know what I'm saying? But I want to shift gears just a little bit here. I want to get your opinion on this. What was your greatest game in the NBA, and what was your toughest game in the NBA?
My greatest game in the NBA, I got two. But I'll handpick one because I felt like it meant more.
Mm-hmm.
We played LeBron when I was in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when LeBron was there the year before. And everybody wanted a piece of LeBron. They were mad at him. In fact, love, hate, you know, very, very thin line.
Mm-hmm.
So they were crazy about him. And the first time that they came to play us, and, you know, this is LeBron's team with him, Bosh, Wade, like this is like the for real, like, yo, one of the greatest teams we've seen in history.
Right.
All on the same team, these dudes in their prime. And the first time they played us, it was just anarchy at the game, but we got beat because I felt like the fans cheered for LeBron to lose rather than for us to win, or for something bad to happen to LeBron, and wanted to call them traitors and all that stuff.
Right.
But the second time we played them, I want to win so bad. I want to win for the city, not just for the city, but for myself. But I resolved in myself, we weren't going to lose this game.
That's right.
Yeah. I was going to do anything I could to win this game. As every once in a while as a player, you get in those zones. And that was my zone game, to where you go back and watch the game. I pretty much made every, like, perfect play. Like, it was a block shot, I got it. If it was a rebound, I got it. If it was a bucket or a free throw, I got it.
Going
like,
ham with
it was anything. If it was LeBron driving to the hole, I stopped him. It was Wade cutting back door. It was just one of those games you make every play, because I just resolved not to lose.
Right.
And the momentum came. And shoot, I might have been for a week, bro, or a day or whatever, 48 hours. I might have been the king of the NBA, bro.
Yeah.
At least that time. Yeah. So I would say, you know, that was my finest games, you know, and for me, the mental part took over. I've always been a man of passion and emotion and flair and energy, but I was mentally seeing the game, that game. That makes sense. You can even go on YouTube and see it, but, you know, it's funny in Cleveland, you know, they should never forget that. I don't really get hailed for that. I mean, some people really remember, thank you, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like, yo, like, I should be good in Cleveland for life after that game.
For life, yeah, that's what's up, man. That's crazy, yeah. Because, you know, it's like when the challenge comes, it's like either you're going to do two things. Either you're going to fold or you're going to rise to the occasion. You know what I'm saying? And you went ahead and rose to the occasion, because that doesn't happen to everybody.
And Kenny, the first time we played, I wanted it so bad. Don't give me I was just so emotional to it,
right?
That I was out of whack.
Wow.
So, like, you can want something so bad, but if you're not thinking and strategical and putting it it won't work.
Wow.
Your emotions have to be in check. It's like a mini game.
Yeah.
Like, hey, box out. Now run to the sideline. Now go from the sideline and, all right, just beat your man down the floor. We're racing.
Right.
Okay, now the ball goes off the glass. Let's see who can get the ball, me or you. Right. I was mentally taking myself through all these mini games.
Wow.
If that made sense, rather than just the emotions.
So that brings me to my question. How important is foundation in life? Like, how important is just having found, you know, a really good foundation in order for you to be successful?
Foundation is everything. And some of us are privileged to have it or be taught the foundations, and some of us had to tear down some layers to get to our foundation and restart it,
right,
to trigger it back up. And we don't even realize where those poor foundations come from. So like you talked about, Kenny, some of us, you know, are born rich, some of us are born poor, but there's not an excuse for you to be mentally
Right.
not rich.
Right.
So I was spoiled because we didn't grow up rich, but my dad made me mentally rich. He invigorated confidence in myself. And one of his, you know, most important lessons he taught me, this is you talking about laying the foundation. We would play basketball in the backyard. Me and my dad would go play ball, and you know, he had certain rules behind what we played. So he would only shoot jump shots, and I got to go to the hole. But if I went to the hole, he would swat it.
Right.
But if I stayed out and shot a jump shot, he would let me shoot it. So one game, I beat my dad, and I get cocky because as a Hollins, I can trash talk with the best of them.
Right.
You know? So I'm talking trash to my dad. Now my dad is, probably my son's age. I'm 8 to 10 years old. My dad is like 6'4", 6'5", you know, 235 pounds. He's a freak athlete. He's not a basketball player, but he's an athlete. Like I will run into him and fall over, like even beyond being a kid. And I was talking trash to him, and he put a whooping on me when we played, a basketball whooping, not that type of whooping. He whooped me like that, basketball whooping. And he started trash talking me. My dad's the godfather of this trash talk. So when he start doing it, he start giving it to me. I'm knocking down 2, I need to see 3. Now that's 4, I need some more. Give me 5, now I gotta have 6. He's talking trash, he's hitting 3. My dad couldn't even shoot the ball, he hitting 3s, he's pouring it on. And I start getting so fed up with his trash talk that my eyes start watering up, welled up, and I got frustrated, I got mad, and I said, I quit, man. I'm not playing again, I'm done. And I started walking down the driveway. We had a long driveway in the backyard. And I was walking down, and I heard his name, Ryan, hey, Ryan, come here. And I turned, you know, that humble walk back. You don't want to come back, but I'm walking back. And I get over to him, and he says, son, make sure for the rest of your life, you never quit anything. So I don't care how hard it gets, how tough these moments are, no matter what happens, you never quit. You never, ever, ever quit. And I've never quit from that day forward. Now, obviously, some things make sense for you to not continue with, but as far as sports and life, I hit a wall. We're all going to hit those walls, but my dad helped lay that foundation to where I'd never walk away from something when it got hard, when it got tough. And that lasted me from college basketball to high school basketball to NBA basketball to tough times. I've been at so many points, and I know we all have. And you talked about choices earlier, the choice to quit or not. But my dad laid the foundation, and for some of us, we didn't have that dad. We are quitters. We are quitters, or we are certain things. So we have to go and pave out and go relay those foundations as you talk. But for me, it's everything, because I felt myself in moments, and there wasn't even a second thought, but I don't even know where that came from. Like, no, I'm not quitting.
Wow, dude, that was so deep, man. Like I was just invested into the story. My son was just sitting here or whatever, just now arms folded, like zoned in, like. That's so crazy, man. And this is what I want to tell the people as well too, just to kind of like add on to that, man. Like, you know, I was always, you know, considered the skinny kid growing up. You know what I'm saying? I was the skinny kid. I was, you know, sticks or skin and bones, or they go to little Ethiopian boy or something like that. Like
we shared all those names.
You know what I'm saying? So
Somalian.
Yeah, Somalian, like all of that. Like they used to call it the kid or whatever that was on TV with the flies on their face and stuff. Like old 90s commercials. Like, and they would, as much as people are going to sit there and talk about you, they just don't live your shoes. They don't walk your life. They don't see what you see, because we can only see, you know, out of the eyes that you are given. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta like understand that quitting should never ever be an option, people. Like quitting should never be an option. You should always take every challenge as an opportunity to be successful, you know. And I commend, you know, people like Ryan, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I'm praising you now, man, because first of all, you shown, you know, true how to overcome adversity no matter what, taking life lessons and turning those life lessons into success and reaching, you know, some of the highest of the highest where like many people don't reach. And then on top of that, it's like you're still going, like you still are like, okay, well, what's next? You know what I mean? Like you're not creating the whole cliche term of sky's the limit, you know, especially if there's footprints on the moon. So, you know what I mean? Like you keep going. Like what drives you to continue to push forward?
For me, my first push was, you know, stubbornness. It was dreaming. You know, I would dream of the NBA. I would dream of being, you know, Charles and Ed O'Bannon at UCLA, you know, in the championship game. You know, I would dream of being, you know, Shaquille O'Neal or Hakeem Olajuwon, you know, the shimmy turnaround fade like Hakeem. But now, you know, what drives me is my kids. And I would say, you know what's wild? Like, I feel like to a degree I got to the NBA and my goal was just to stay there. And I played 10 years, but I wasn't an all-star. I wasn't there, but like, it was my goal. I never redirected my goals to say,
Right.
no, you got to be an all-star. You got to be like, and I always worked out like all-star. I didn't like I wasn't obsessive about it because ultimately my goals were to stay there. So I did everything I could to stay there. So I got 10 years out of it. And that was a blessing. But it could have been more. So I think now my goals is like a father. And like, Kenny, I know you know this feeling, and I can't describe it to anybody who's not a father, but maybe for some of the upcoming fathers. But like, I remember like when my daughter was born, I remember looking at her. The second I heard her voice, I felt this feeling that the money in my wallet was gone because it was hers. The choices that I made were hers. Like, I live for my kids now. If that makes sense. Like, that was my mind. Like, everything just flipped because, you know, like, ask yourself if you're selfish. Like, your screensaver is probably the thing you value most on your cell phone.
Bruh. Real rap.
Like, and indirectly, yeah, you and the family. Yeah. Right. Indirectly, whether you say it or not, it's just like, does it? Like, the things you even post on Instagram to a degree, like, you know, they'll show like the most important things in your life. And like, obviously some of us, you know, post for other reasons, but generally I would say 80 to 90% of the time it is like, obviously I use my account for business rather than family because I want to protect my family.
Right.
But you immediately push those things. Like, if you ever go to a girl's page, and fellas, I'm gonna talk to you single fellas right now.
Right.
And everything on her page is a selfie of herself. She's selfish and consuming herself.
Right.
That's the most important thing in her life. And when I was 20 years old, you know what I used to do? I used to have a photo of myself, and I would put a screen on it, and I would put like a background on it, and I would clip pictures of myself and you know, send them like and store them together. And how could I but I was selfish at 20 years old. So it tells so much about who you are.
Exactly. So you just got to be aware, man. Wow, brother. Yo, man, listen, we got like a little bit of time left. So I want to get this in. All right. In your opinion, right? Because I see you posted sometimes on Instagram, but I want you to let the people know, in your opinion, if the NBA ended today, who's your MVP?
If the NBA ended today, you have to take into account, honestly, that LeBron James is playing at a level that we haven't seen since Michael Jordan.
Right.
LeBron James gave us as a fan, you know, selfishly as a fan, like, before I was a player, I was a fan of the league.
Right.
He went head to head with Kawhi Leonard and beats Kawhi Leonard, guards him on one end, and on the other end takes the ball in his hands and closes out. That was the supposed to be the best player in the world. Then the next night or the night after goes against Giannis Antetokounmpo, guards Giannis straight up. The only other man who's been able to guard Giannis is Kawhi.
Yeah.
You know, Giannis Antetokounmpo has dunked on so many people that you can only compare him to a young Shaquille O'Neal as far as scoring in the paint. Maybe not physically, but getting dunks at will. LeBron guards him straight up. Then LeBron goes at him, facilitates, gets his teammates open, just disintegrates Milwaukee. at that point, LeBron James is on the MVP trajectory.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to name an MVP to stop now, as we spoke earlier, I got to look at Giannis Antetokounmpo. Because through the length of a season, I saw consistency.
Okay.
And keep in mind, consistency from a guy who won MVP last year. Now, this guy who won MVP last year, even though we love LeBron and everything about him, he's become a better player. He scores more. He rebounds more. He has more assists, more three-pointers made. Hold on, Kenny, I'm not done. In less minutes.
Wow.
So when the MVP of last year's league improves, his team has the best record in the NBA. To this point, through your question, if the NBA stops today, I would have to reward Giannis Antetokounmpo with it. But keep in mind, like LeBron James, my man, you know when you see a sprinter, you see a sprinter with the monkey on his back, he's slowing down, and the dude got the crowd cheering.
Yeah.
LeBron was hawking him from behind.
Yeah,
like,
heavy, heavy. I probably, my personal opinion, I love Giannis's game. I think Giannis is next level, man. Like for real. I like Giannis. I like Kawhi's game, but for me, I probably would go with LeBron. And my reasons are a little bit different just because I felt like last year he had the groin injury, you know what I'm saying? And last year his, the team was it was all right, you know what I mean? But they wasn't, they was in fourth or whatever before he went down. But I just feel like this year LeBron just turned on a different type of mentality and a different approach this year than he did when from his first year with the Lakers. That's just me, so I kind of like wanted to see him get it this year. So right now that's my vote would be, for LeBron over Giannis, just because. And another thing is I feel like LeBron was going to turn it up even more in the playoffs. I've seen Giannis fold in the playoffs the past 2 years. You know what I'm saying? So he's got to get over that hump or whatever. But last year, Giannis was the dude, like hands down. Like there was no question there. But I think with the 2 games that we've seen with Giannis and then with Kawhi, like LeBron was just turning up. Like he was just getting, like, to me, he was just getting heated up, So that's my vote there. But yeah, man. We love having you on, man. I gotta have you back on, brother.
Absolutely, bro. Part 2.
Yes, we gotta do a part 2, man. We getting cut short and everything right now. I actually gotta go do a virtual dance class and everything. So you should tell your kids to hop on with the dancing dad. We about to get it popping.
Hey.
So where can everybody find you at?
Instagram, Ryan Hollins. Twitter, the Ryan Hollins. Man, get in the comment section, DM, whatever. I can't promise I can get to everybody, but I appreciate the love and support. Kenny, I know you always show support. You holler, I get, I'll have something at least you're gonna want to respond to. You'll pop in.
Yes, sir.
So those are the best places, man. Best places.
Word. All right, brother. Listen, man, we gonna chop it up a little bit later. Y'all want to say hi to Ron? Come on. They've been you know what I'm saying? The boys. Say what's up to my man Ryan.
What's up, yo?
You know what I'm saying? You see, I got wild man right here. You know what I'm saying? This wild man John. We're gonna call him John. Wild man, but nah, it's Javion and Caleb. So
what's up, fellas? Those are some good kids, man. They sat and listened to all this boring adult talk. Like,
man. This is the quietest they've been all day.
I thought you kicked them out and they were outside. I'm gonna be honest, Kenny, because everything told me there's no way kids are sitting through us through this.
I told them that I'm gonna play Nerf guns with them tomorrow if they be quiet. So yeah, man. So listen, everybody, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share this with your mama, your auntie, your uncle, your grandma, your grandpa, your sister, your stepsister, your stepbrother, your stepdad, your stepmom. I don't care who it is. Make sure you get this to them. We are on Spotify. We're on Google. We're on Apple Music. We are on YouTube. Kenny Clutch Speaks, the Clutchvision podcast. You can find us on Instagram at Kenny Clutch. If you want to donate anything to the podcast as a minimum of $1, please do so and support this podcast. We thank you guys. We love y'all. Remember, when we change the mind, we change the game. Peace.